friends. Today I wanted to talk about a little self-reflection I did today, and it's about how I caught myself in a mental state where I'm feeling inadequate again. And I think this may be a topic I've previously spoken about, but I seem to catch myself in it a lot. And because it's repetitive, it's definitely, I think, a mental issue that I have, which is accumulation of things that include, I guess, lack of self confidence or whatever. But I also think, there are kind of environmental stimuli that push me towards that headspace, I think. And that was part of the thing I was thinking about. I don't know. I feel that I'm a very sensitive person, and I'm sensitive even to myself. And what I mean by that is because the work culture that I'm in right now, it they really prioritize the, I don't know, hierarchical business culture, and of course you do that in many ways, and it's not all bad, I guess, but like, especially the language. Um, in Japanese, there's a way to speak to someone above you and someone below you, and there's also a way to speak where you put yourself down so that you're raising the person you're speaking to up. And so this language that I have to use where I put myself down, it, I think, really unconsciously reinforces this mental state of self inadequacy. And over time I'm feeling like inadequate, to put it simply. I don't know. I guess it's also part of it is because I'm not used to it, and I'm still learning how to properly utilize that language. But it's expected, and it's definitely affecting me. And I, after a while, I catch myself in these situations where I'm always doing things safely. I'm stunting myself. And what I mean by that is, let's say, just if I'm given a work, already in my mind, I'm thinking, how can I do this and make sure that I don't disappoint? Or how do I let them know ahead of time so that I don't disappoint? Or when given a work, because I'm pretty sure I can't do 100% in the way they expect it. Also, there's a little bit of a perfectionist culture, which you could argue isn't a bad thing, but because of that, I find myself letting them know that, hey, I could guarantee you 85% of this work done, no problem. I probably can do 95, but I'll try to do 100. And when I catch myself kind of saying that, almost, even though it's kind of half jokingly, I realize now, thinking back, that I'm doing that because I don't think that I'm capable. And it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy or whatever, where because I feel inadequate, I end up always making mistakes or not reaching the goal line, which then reinforces my feeling of inadequacy, which then kind of cycles out of control, and that's not good either. But what's scary is I don't realize that I'm doing it sometimes, or a lot of the times. And it continues for a long time. And then I have to have a random moment that kind of kickstarts my brain again and makes me realize that I'm in a bad headspace. Because when I'm in that headspace, and I'm sure many could relate, you even the smallest bumps, hiccups, or mistakes, uh, in your mind it becomes exaggerated, or the way you react to it becomes more exaggerated, and you're unable to move forward, to see beyond, to be able to move and react to small issues or even potential issues that haven't even happened. Your outlook is negative. You assume the worst, or you take the safe route, and it's not fun. And I hate it, and I do it a lot. And when I able to get out of that headspace, it works differently completely. A small hiccup is a small hiccup, and it's something I could just kind of walk past and make sure it doesn't happen again. It's not a big deal. Um, the goal's there. That's how I get there. Oh, there's a rock here. Just go around it, or there's other ways to do it. No problem. Just that headspace makes a big difference. And I don't know. I think my current goal right now that I'm going to try to do is where I'm going to work on mentally training myself to kind of separate what I was talking about in the beginning, where like the way I have to behave within that work culture, I'm going to try to separate, make sure that I tell myself that that's not what I am, or who I am, or how I am, I should be represented. Because I guess I'm just not used to it, and I'm too sensitive to it still. And it kind of, even if I don't mean it, where I'm putting myself down with the language I'm using, it still kind of affects me mentally. So I need to just figure out how to not let it affect me. And I'm sure there's a lot of other variables that, well, I haven't told you, or that I haven't realized, but I gotta work on the variables that I'm aware of first. And I think the way I behave or speak is definitely a big variable that I've realized, luckily, that I could kind of work on to separate from myself and my worth and my value and whatever. Anyway, that was something I noticed again, and that I want to work on. So I wanted to share. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you guys up again another time. Ciao.